Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. So we're going to do one more cross wreath this season, and this one is going to be in honor of Memorial Day. Now, I know we did one a few weeks ago, but listen, we're going to address the sides of this wreath and kind of fill in some gaps, make it fuller, but on this one, we're going to have a Memorial Day theme, and I think it turned out beautifully. So let's get started. Hey there. So you saw the first clip. You know what the wreath looks like? I don't yet. I don't, because I do things backwards here. I make it and then I show it to you. But listen, we're going to make another cross wreath. And this one, again, was inspired by the same lady who showed us how to do the bunny wreath, Tate. And she made one, but she did a fuse method on hers, but we're not going to do that today. But I saw it and I'm like, oh, this is what I need to do, because this would make a perfect Memorial Day wreath. And remembering those who have served in our service that may have passed away. And I just thought this is a perfect wreath for that. So I just wanted to share it with you. And I also wanted to kind of go over how we can kind of add petals to the side of our cross wreath frame, because I've gotten many messages and you're like, I can see the frame from the side. And yeah, you can, but you know, if you're looking straight on, you can't. But we're going to add a little bit more depth to this wreath. So we're going to get started by cutting our poly burlap. You know the routine. If you don't know the routine, just watch really close and I'll show you how. But this is poly burlap. It's like a plastic type of mesh. It's 10 inches wide. And we're going to cut this with a wood burner. Now, all of my tools I use, you can get from Amazon, and the link for all that is in the description box below. I have a brand new wood burner here, and that's the chisel tip. I always love it when I have a new wood burner because it cuts so nicely. So as you can see, we have our mesh. This is a glass cutting board over top of our cutting mat. Okay, that's really important. And I use this cutting mat because it shows me the inches and it's really super helpful. So I'm going to cut this at 10 inches wide. So we just go right in between the pieces, the threads here. All right. And at this point, I'm going to take it and I'm going to go over top here. We're going to make a triangle, and we are going to cut down the center here. Now, this step is not like a requirement, but I do feel like it does help when you go to put it on the wreath. But we're going to fuse it, and we're going to cut this in two. All right. Now, if you want to fuse two pieces of mesh together, you can. But I just do this because it just makes our little process here a little bit easier. And so we're going to cut at least 10 of these in the navy blue. We're going to cut some regular, and I'm not going to cut them in half, but then I'm going to cut maybe 4 or 5 of them in half. Okay, so you'll understand here in a moment what we're trying to do. But I'm going to just take finish side in the bottom and top, and then I'm going to cut it again. And you don't have to do this step. If you want to just use your rotary cutter, you can do that, but I kind of like to do this because then it kind of seals the edges, and it just makes our next step easier. So I'm going to do white mesh and red poly burlap as well. All right, so you can start this wreath off. If you want to put like a felt behind it, you could definitely take this and make a measurement on felt, trace it out. I'm not going to do it because I have a feeling this is going to end up on a grave site, and you know what? The felt probably won't do well if it gets wet, so I'm going to leave that part out. The only issue is I have a broken thing here, so I have to take that into account. But again, this is the only Dollar Tree cross frame that I have left, so we're going to make it work. We're going to just make this work. So I'm going to cut that off, and then we're going to get started, and we're going to start with white. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to do blue and blue, and then we're going to do red and white, kind of like the red, white, and blue theme, and kind of like in the pattern of a flag here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these white pieces that we've already cut here. So I'm going to cut that off because it's going to bother me. You're going to get some zip ties. You can either get 4-inch zip ties like here, or the 8-inch zip ties. I'm going to probably use these because it's just a little bit easier on my hand. And so basically you're going to take that part that you cut down the middle, and we are going to just gather it. Okay. We're going to do it like that. So that's the curved look that I want. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to just put it right here, kind of underneath I'm gonna see if I can do it with a 4-inch. It'll be better if I do this. I'm gonna put it kind of sideways, okay? Because we're gonna cover this side, and this is just gonna be a fuller looking cross, okay? That's kind of what we're doing here. So I'm gonna put that one there. Where are my, there they are. There are my cutters. Love my wire cutters. They are the best. And then I'm gonna take another one the same way, and I'm going to gather this one, and we're going to put it on that one as well on the opposite end. And so basically what we want to do is we don't want to go on, the next one will go on top here, but I want it to be on the side. Does that make sense? So that when you're looking at the wreath, you're not going to see the frame as much, okay? Sideways. Okay, so we're going to do that. So now I'm going to take a regular piece of the white poly burlap, and we are going to go make a triangle. And this is like the other wreath. It was more of an Easter wreath that has flowers in the middle. And if you haven't watched that one, I'll put it in the description box below. And we're going to go like so, and then we're going to pinch it. Now I'm going to kind of fold one over. I want to fold it over so that it just kind of like covers over. And so now we're going to put that one on top of here. Oops, if I can pick that up. Now we're going to put it the same area where those zip ties are. I'm going to go underneath, and it's actually going around the outer two as well. Okay, so that probably brings it all in even more for us. So let me just make sure. Yep. So can you tell here that I kind of, oops, I kind of overlapped that one. Can you see the difference there? I just want to kind of show you. It's like you do one of these, and oh my goodness, that other cross wreath went viral on TikTok. It has like 1.8 million views. And it was like, wow. So everybody wanted to make these cross wreaths. So when Tate showed me hers of like a cross and it looked like a flag, I was just like, that is the perfect wreath for Memorial Day. So I wanted to do this early enough so that you guys can make it and have it ready, okay? And you could do deco mesh with this. You could use, let's see, fabric mesh. Also, you could use this. This is like a deco mesh and poly and a jute, and I had this, but I wanted to stick with more of the red white look. And I cut a piece out just so that I can kind of show you. If you make the wing type, that's what it's going to look like. So you can even do that as well. So be creative. You don't have to stick it with exactly what Julie does, okay? So again, we're going to just make our little petal. And we're just going to look here, and we're going to go about right here, okay? Let me see if I can take one of these little ones. I think so. The problem is I can't see. And I like the dimension that this wreath will give you as well. So you've got the 3D look going on here. And I really think that's important when you're making a wreath, is that 3D look. Just helps your wreath look even more beautiful. Okay, I think I like the 8-inch. Sorry, guys. Somebody's going to be upset and say, oh, but you're wasting so much. I know. I don't mean to, but all right. So we're going to put one there. And so what you're looking at here is you're just going to stagger the red and the white together. Now you could use white and red mesh, and you could fuse it together, and that would be really pretty too. But use your imagination and you'll make a beautiful wreath. I am very confident of it. Let me use one of these a little bit curlier ones. I didn't have much of this red poly, so I'm kind of using the ends. I'm going to kind of flatten that out of what I have to make this all work. Alrighty. All right, and then I'm going to kind of put one over top of the other one just ever so slightly. Okay. Put that there. Oops. Need some more zip ties. And again, I'm going to go underneath, and I'll show you this in a moment. And when you pull on that, Just going to bring it down, okay? So you see how I went over both of those? So, all right, so do white, red, white, wherever it lands, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we've got all the way up there. So we use 1, 2, 3 white petals sets, okay, and then 3 of the red. I did bring it all the way up in the middle there because we're going to put a star in the middle here, so we want to keep this pretty tight. So on this end, the right side of the cross, we're going to start with red, we're going to do white, and then we're going to end with red because I really want the red and the navy blue to be there because I have a white star to go in the middle. So we're going to take our mesh again. You're going to do the same exact thing. And I'm going to just simply lay my zip tie there. And you're just going to do the same thing we did on this side. We're going to do here. And you're going to want to just make sure that everything is about the same on each side here. So let's see. I went about an inch in is where I put the first one. And what's neat about this part is that we can move these up and down if we need to, and to make it more symmetrical, if that's the right word. I think that's the right word. I've never been good at math, guys, and especially not geometry. Holy cow, geometry was not my gig. So let me know in the comments, was geometry your thing in high school? Because it wasn't mine. I barely passed it. Okay, so there we go. We're going to move that one over. And then I'm going to put one in between here. Oops, we're twisting that one. We don't want to twist that one, okay? All right, laying that there. Grabbing my mesh, my poly burlap. Again, you can do, oops, let's move this down a little bit. Now that doesn't look about right. I think this is too big. So let's grab a different piece here. Okay, sometimes I cut them and I'm a little off on my measurements. So let's do this again. And remember, when you bring it up, I'm bringing the left or the right, actually not the left, Julie, the left, oh goodness, I can't even talk, guys, the right petal overlapping the left one, okay, when you're looking at it this way. I guess it depends on which way you're looking at it, but this is the way we're going to look at it. So I just want to be able to tell you right, guys. And if you're worrying about the fraying, because even though the wood burner does help, that might fray, you can take some Mod Podge and dab some Mod Podge over that, and that will stiffen that right up, which is great. So we're going to do white and then we're going to do red. All right, so just keep with me and keep the process going and it will be beautiful, I promise. This will be a beautiful wreath and such a wonderful way to, you know, honor those that we've lost. Alrighty. And if you use a different color star, you can do whatever you want. If you want to do white first and then red, it's really up to you. I'm just thinking about the star and what color it is. It was black, and you can get these stars on Amazon and just spray paint them whatever you want. At least that's the last time I knew you could get them on Amazon. And I will make sure and maybe link some options for you. All right. And then I'm just going to put one in the middle there. And then a red one. And so you can come back after that. Okay, so as you can see, I go right up into the middle of this wreath because we're going to have a star right in the middle and it's going to be beautiful. I cannot wait for this to be over. So before the end of this video, if you have somebody that you would like to mention in the comments that you want to observe for Memorial Day, please leave those people's names in the comments because this is what this wreath is about. This is about Memorial Day and remembering those who have passed away. And so I have someone very special that this is in memory of personally. And so just leave those in the comments for me. Instead of leaving me an emoji, like I always ask, if you watch till the end, let's honor those who have given all. So now all you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to do it all in navy blue. We're going to put 3 here and 3 here. Just the same thing. Nothing has changed. And we're just going to put it on. And I think the 3 on each side here works perfectly. And I just grabbed a gigantic zip tie that I do not need. But again, leave in the comments who you would like to remember. Okay, so, but I am really excited about this wreath. I think this is going to be really pretty. I'm going to see, okay, we're about right there. And then we're going to do another one. And I love these zip ties. Again, I get them at Amazon. They're in my list. And they're just, I've been buying the same zip ties for probably 3 to 4 years now. So they're just the best. Okay, so we got one there. Make sure it's just lays right. And you're just going to keep doing the same thing, guys. Nothing really different here. So just follow along and keep doing it, and it will turn out beautifully. I feel like I'm kind of backwards here now because I've been working all these other different directions. And you're going to pull that really good. And beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So keep going. 3 here, 3 here, and then I'll be back so we can put our star on. All right, so before we go on, I do want to let you know that I did 4 petals up here. So 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then 4 up here. Okay, so let's just talk real quick about how many you're going to need. Okay, so you're going to need, when you see the one color here, that's actually 2 petals. So we're going to say 2, 4, 6, 8, 32. So you had 6 here plus 8. So you're going to need about half of a roll of the blue, and then you're going to need half of a roll of the red and half of the roll of the white. Okay, so two rolls or 1 roll of each color should make probably 2 wreaths. Okay, so I have a star here, and this star is about 8 inches in diameter around. So that's what we're using. It has a little hook here. Some do, some don't. It just depends on what you get. So I'm going to put a little pipe cleaner through there. I spray painted this one because this one is black. And I just kind of felt like, you know, I think a white star would be really nice. And then I'm going to take another one and we're going to put it about right here. We're going to get some felt. Hold on. I'm just going to take some scrap felt. It doesn't have to be anything that matches. Nobody's going to see this part here. So I'm going to just make a little part there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. I'm going to half this. You could use wire if you wanted to. Take my glue gun. And I am using the Gorilla Glue here. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to put this over top of it. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit more glue, and then I'm going to let this set up, and then we'll put this back on. Okay, so this is pretty much set up, and as you can see, I have a little bit of spots. I used some old white spray paint, and it shows, so I kind of buffed it out with a little sander, and so I ended up going and running an errand, and I took off my wedding ring. So you're probably wondering, like, where's Julie's wedding ring? It's still here. It's still here. It's just, this was a little later when I finished this wreath. So you're just going to take and you're going to find a spot to go through on either side here. I'm going to just find a spot. Okay, those are through. And those are through. That's good. Let me see here. Let's see if this is the way we want it to look. I want it to be just right because this is really important. All right. Feel like you got to be careful because I'm already kind of trying to poke a hole in it. All right, I think that's a little bit straighter. Okay, does that look straight? I think that looks pretty straight. So I'm going to twist it over. I'm still holding on to it to make sure that we get it. Now, you can add a piece of felt to the back of this wreath, and that will cover it up. No problem. And you know what I want to do? I want to bring this on the inside here. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a zip tie and I'm going to go through, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm going to go through underneath these two brackets, and this is where we're going to hang it from. If somebody's going to hang it from a door, and then that way it will hold just fine right there. All right, and there you go. So let's flip it over. Want everything to lay just right, and I think that's beautiful. You can't see the whole thing. I'm going to, at this point, hold on for the next scene. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it this far, I know I always ask for an emoji, but this time, if you have a loved one or know someone that we can honor for Memorial Day, would you leave their name or just tell us that you have somebody special in the comments? So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned how to do it a little differently from the last video. You can always make this one color and add flowers in the middle, do whatever you want, but come back on Sunday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll craft again. Bye-bye.